It's been a while since I last did a scouting report video, but I have been very busy concentrating on the busy game schedule and trying to get in a few wheel and deal videos to talk about transfer rumours. I am going to be doing a few this coming week when things do come around and talk about transfer news and transfer rumours. I'll knock a few out of the park because I feel like I haven't really been that consistent in uploading a few things lately. And I need to try and get back on track somehow. But like I say, the busy Premier League schedule and games being rearranged and what have you has caused me to, I'd say, slack a little bit. Back to scouting report. This edition is left backs, a position that we do need to consider filling in with the depth, given that we've only got Aaron Cresswell as a strong left back, and I don't trust Arthur Masuaku to start. So let's consider signing a left back sooner rather than later, please. I want to continue scouting report because I want to fill in on more of my own recommended targets for West Ham, and I have to admit, when it came to looking for left backs, I hit a little bit of a stumbling block in terms of my choices. I have managed to choose one option that I would go for rather than two, as I usually do with these videos, but at the same time I still was able to kind of conduct some research as to who I would sign for that position. Two of the targets mentioned are players that have already been linked with West Ham in this transfer window, and the other three are players who will need a new challenge, and it'll be up to West Ham to knock on that door and give them that challenge. So I'm going to just get right into it. I might as well, starting off with a player who has had quite the story growing up and has made it to the professional level despite going through a very difficult upbringing. Bournemouth left back Lloyd Kelly is 23 years old, and he's had to go through quite a struggle and a tough upbringing to get to where he is today. He and his siblings spent nearly all of their childhood in foster care, but that has helped to make him a stronger, better person, and because of that, he is the man that he is today, and he credits foster parents and individuals in his life for helping him get to where he is today. And it's been successful for him. He's played with Bournemouth now for quite some time, and he's established himself as a very well-liked player in the dressing room and with the fans. He plays as a left back but can play as a centre back as well. He's known for his height and his physical strength, and what gets me about Kelly, from what I can tell, is that he's very good at dealing with pressure situations. He doesn't tend to get stressed. He doesn't tend to get agitated by pressure situations. He thrives through the pressure and makes his move. And that's the kind of players that we need on this team, are players that don't get too scared and players that fight and show that kind of character. And that's why Lloyd Kelly goes into this, because I think he's got the head strength to play in the Premier League with a team that's tougher to get into, and also because we could do with depth in the defence in general. The next player that I'm going to talk about is Fulham's Dutch left-back Terence Kongolo. He's 27 years old. He's struggled to get game time at Fulham, and Marco Silva, Fulham's current manager, has suggested that Kongolo leave. One big concern I have about Kongolo is his lack of game time, and that rustiness might set in. I know he's been injured, and that's one thing that does kind of deter me from wanting him at West Ham. But I want to try and look past the injury and think about his attributes as a player. He's very mobile and energetic, and he's constantly moving with the ball. He rarely stays stagnant, and he's always looking to go forward. He did this when he was at Huddersfield, and that's what he became known for. His flexibility, his energy, and his mobility all shone through. Like I say, he's lacked game time over the last few years. He's had a few injury problems. He needs to just get back to himself before he can really move on and push on to try and get a move. But it doesn't take away from what he's like as a player. That said, he has struggled to play, and that is something that has to be taken into account when we talk about him. Scottish teenager Aaron Hickey has gone from playing in Edinburgh to Bologna, and it's a move that is quite a big jump, but something that he's taken very well. When he was at Hearts, he was praised for his maturity. He was, quoting then manager Robbie Nielsen, a 18-year-old with the mentality of a 24 or 25-year-old. And that's something you see in his game. He's quick to adapt and quick to learn. Serie A is quite the league to play in. It's one of the biggest in the world as well as in Europe alone. But Hickey has managed to hold down some fight for the starting place in the Bologna team. And he's shown a lot of versatility. Now, initially, it looked like he could play as a CM or as a holding midfielder. But he has gone as a left-back. The reason why he tends to revert to that CM role may be because he doesn't stay left all the time. He goes to different areas within his own half. That's a good thing to have, because it shows that he's able to go into different places and not just confine himself to the left side of the field. But at the same time, I don't think he suits the midfield position. I think he is actually a left back, and this is why he's going in the video, because I think he's young for his age. Although he can still progress, given his age, he's a left back first and foremost, and I think that he should settle for that position a lot more, because it's where he's comfortable, it's where he's getting his praise and where he's developing into. So, given the future he's got and how far he's going to be able to go, yeah, I think this is a very good potential target for us to have. The fourth player on my list of targets is Boli Bolingoli-Mbombo, a 26-year-old Belgian who plays for Celtic in the Scottish Premier League. He can play left midfield, left back, and left wing back. Interestingly enough, he comes from quite a strong footballing family, not at least because his cousins are Jordan and Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku communicates with Bolingoli a lot, actually, but he doesn't use Wi-Fi for it. He uses the internet. And doesn't call him with a British cell phone. He calls him with an international dialing number. Okay, I'll stop. All right, I'll stop the jokes right there about Inter, but you know all that Lukaku stuff. I don't think Bolingoli particularly wants to go to Inter Milan. I don't think he's going to quite make the caliber there. I don't think he wants to get out of Celtic in that kind of way. Although this is a player who's still trying to find his form playing in the UK, it has been quite slow for him. Although he's been able to play multiple roles, he still hasn't really broken through into the Celtic team. And that's something that is a bit of a concern. So maybe he needs a fresh challenge somewhere else, because there is something in this guy that is potential, but I don't think the Scottish Premier League is the right league for him. And I think he needs to go somewhere else first to grow a bit. He did actually, he did that in Turkey. He played in the Turkish Super League for one season out on loan, then came back to Scotland, and it hasn't still worked out for him, and he needs a new club. So that's why he goes in here. He was quite a highly rated player when he was playing for Rapid Vienna in Austria, and since then his career has taken a little bit of a downturn, and he needs to get it back on track. Danish left-back Kristian Pedersen has been playing for Birmingham City since 2018 and has emerged as one of the most consistent left-backs in the Championship. He can occasionally play on the wing as well, and even signing to get him to play in England was actually quite a task in itself. He had to go through a lot of clearance protocol and was eventually registered in time to play for Birmingham. Since he played for them, he's been a regular starter in games. He's been a very strong-minded player. in that time. And playing for Birmingham's been a very big struggle, not at least because the club's been in relegation battles a lot of the time. I think that's probably helped him to realise that playing in the Premier League, or even in, should I say, the Championship, isn't all plain sailing. The Championship is a very tough league. Let's get that clear. I actually think it's a very tough league to get out of, because once you get relegated into it, you have to get back up again. And doing that the first hurdle in this day and age is not an easy thing to do. Pedersen's not had an easy ride playing in the Championship, and I think it's helped him to adapt to life in a new country. I think it's been very good for him. And having played in Germany before, I think he can see some similarities between German football and English football, only that it's probably not the same kind of format, and it's not the same kind of fan and club relationships that he's used to, but it's something that he can still see similarities with, and I think he's played quite well in the Championship for Birmingham from what I can see. For me, there was only one choice to select out of those options, and the strongest one is Aaron Hickey. If you ask me, that is the best player you can select out of those 5. He's 19 years old, he's the youngest out of all of the players that I chose. As I said before, he's mature for his age, and that's something that David Moyes will warm to, and one thing that those two have in common is the Scottish connection. Moyes had been looking at Scottish players. He looked at Josh Doig, who plays for Hibernian, a player who was rated quite highly in the SPL and had a pretty hefty price tag placed upon his head. Aaron Hickey will not be cheap either, because he's one of the best rated left backs in Europe, as well as in Italy. His versatility and his maturity go hand in hand. It's just how willing he is to learn different positions on the fly, and playing as a central midfielder was what he mainly used to do. It hasn't really been his strongest point. He's played left back before, and playing left back is now where he is predominantly associated. And I think that we do need another left back, like I said at the start of the video, and Hickey would be someone that we can grow for the long term. And long-term development is always going to be key. Having a teenage kid in the team that's got that maturity is very rare. Declan Rice had that maturity. Hickey's got that already at his age. He's a kid that's going to go places, and I think a move to another league is going to come soon for him. Thank you very much for watching the scouting report for left backs. If you liked the video, hit the like button and do not forget to subscribe for more content. As I said earlier, I will try to get more transfer videos done this week, but I will see what comes out. Hopefully we get some players signed. We need it badly. I said that in my aftermath for the Leeds game. Check that out as well, by the way. We need to get something done, and we need to get it done now. But hopefully we do end up signing a left back as well. Maybe even Aaron Hickey. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all soon.